I'm live. Ain't that something? There we go. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me okay? Congrats. I appreciate everybody showing up that wanted to show up. That was awful nice of you. Sound good. Okay, I appreciate it, Michael. I really didn't have much to say. I just wanted to kind of appreciate everybody for thanking me or wishing me good retirement and everything. That was nice of y'all. I plan on going down to Bay Bridge Tunnel like I thought about, but it was such a bad day. It would have been a good picture anyways. Yeah, I like his shirt too. I figured I don't want to get in trouble with any Marines out there, but I figured I earned the title, I guess. Hate to see 5 Marines standing outside my door in a few minutes. That wouldn't be a good way to start your vacation or retirement. But I figured I got quite a few subscribers more than the last time I done a live, and some people just aren't up to speed on what I'm doing. So yeah, well, I have a tendency to look pretty decent at times. I'm glad to see you here, Ron. Your wife, would you? Boy, I tell you what, I got it on slow mode because I got a slow brain, so it takes me a little while. Well, good. I'm glad. UK? All right. I seen somebody else up there. Scotland. Will Smith. Oh, that's right. I wrote that down. Rob Lowry. Hi, Steve. All the way Bakersfield. Bakersfield. I think that might be where I'm going to fly into. I'm not sure when I go out to California. Either there or Fresno. I've been pondering it. I don't know anything about either town, and I'm just worried about personal safety. How's that? Especially if I got the wife with me. But so I just figured I'd bring everybody up to speed where I'm at now the day I'm gone, and just kind of clarify anything that might be confusing to people because I'm not very good at voicing, articulating. Canada and Chicago, Canada. I've been right to the border of Canada. I never crossed over. I even got my passport so I could come back. We looked at it, could see it. So, never been out the U.S. No, never have. North Virginia. All right. He's up in the rich neighborhoods. Netherlands. All right. Had a buddy of mine, was a friend of the lady I worked for across town. He was from Denmark. He died here 2-3 years ago, I believe. I think he was pushing 90, I believe. Mike Answorth. All right. We might, Will. The wife is big into ancestry. A few years ago, I got a William spit test so she could check it out. And come to find out, she's I don't know, I guess 90% of what she is, according to the testing, if you can believe that stuff, UK and Scotch Irish. I mean, she's got a ton of that mess on her. Explains her anger. Yeah, go figure, David. I keep thinking it's the guy across the woods over here watching. I never think about it. I just don't. I just get on here and spit for a couple of minutes and post. New Jersey. Screwed up and got to New Jersey one time by accident. We was headed to Niagara Falls, and I took a wrong turn in Pennsylvania, and it took me to the east. Dave Jeffries, 2 years before you go in. I'm going into retirement 2 years. 20 minutes from Edinburgh. Edinburgh. Excuse me. Oh, I'll be. But yeah, so I just figured if you indulge me for a couple of minutes, I'll just give a quick rundown, and then we'll go to if there's any clarifications or anything you guys need, just let me know. Let me see. As of today, I just checked before I got on here. Well, I checked this morning, but I got it. I usually I don't speak anything about how much I have or what I'm doing pretty much financially. You know, I I usually tell people I'm comfortably in the upper six, the upper six digits. Yeah, that's it. And that's a big range from 500 to 999. I guess it's actually in the upper third. How's that? And I don't speak about it because it's what somebody else has doesn't have any bearing on my retirement or your retirement. Unless they're going to give you a few dollars. And I mean, and it's kind of embarrassing. I mean, I could have done better, but I'd planned on going out at 60 or 62. So that was my plan. And actually, I'm still on track at 60 or 62 to have a digit or bigger if I stayed. But I'm not staying. Well, I didn't stay. And if I could, I would have done a little bit different if the wife would have been working. If I'd have chased gains a little more or whatever, we could have done a lot better now. But I never thought that I would leave when I did. Simple as that. So, and another thing too is honestly, I don't know anything about this stuff. I know the basics. Live below your means, save and invest the rest, and enjoy yourself. I'm pretty good on the basics. It's the technical stuff I usually have trouble with, but if I get a chance to sit down and think about it, study on it for a little bit, I can understand that stuff too. It's just it's so much easier for me to do the basic stuff and get ahead than it is to have to worry about every last penny or 0.5% of interest or whatever. California, Dan. Okay. Oh yeah, I guess my bring home in retirement is going to be right at 47K a year. That's my bring home, and that's pretty much what I'm bringing home now. And like I said the other day, it was going to give me $600 to $800 a month, a buffer. What's that? I got it wrote down. Thought I had it wrote down. What is that? 6, 7. So it's going to like 7 to 9 grand extra a year. That'd cover my insurance. That'd cover my insurance, and I'll still have a buffer because I'm actually bringing home about another 7 grand more than I budgeted for at 40 grand. So it's not going to be that big a deal, and I know that, but it still don't make it any less shaky going out. Thanks, Tab. I appreciate it. Tab, Nebraska. But and honestly, we ain't never done nothing different than 99% of the people in the world right now. You got married, you had a couple kids, you paid for a house, and you worked and struggled for 30 or 40 years and stepped out. That's all there is to it. I mean, just about everybody goes to work every day is in that position. So, I mean, I don't see it as anything special, and I never intended to be instructional or advisory or anything on here. It's just I chose it to do a daggone hobby is what it was. 5 or 10 minutes. I make a video and then post. Boom, it's over with. I'm done for the day. Last day of work. Just like a regular day, to be honest with you. We were a little slow. Did nothing major happen. And I had a buddy of mine come over and give me his phone number in case I ever got a cell phone. He don't answer it. He says, "Would text me." And I said, "Okay, I'll do that." So I'll probably end up getting one because I don't have a camera. All I got is this little thing on the computer here. And that way I can go down to the river and get some pictures. Maybe when I'm fooling around in the garden. Maybe I can talk one of my old lady bosses into getting on here and talking a few minutes. Because I traded in one boss for 5. I don't know if that was a good deal or not. No, I never did play that song, Shove It. Fella here a few years ago retired, and he had it playing in the break room when he left. Nah, we didn't even go out to dinner that night. We didn't do anything. It was pretty much a regular daggone day. Teaching is the best way to learn. Yeah, it is. Pension. I don't have the opportunity at a lump sum because if they owe you over, say, 8,000 total or whatever the number is, then you have to take it monthly. And since I've been there almost 20 years, my lump sum would have been too much, so it's a monthly pension. How am I feeling now that it's real? I had to go over to my little lady across town this morning. I went over there, and she was asking me, and I was telling her that, I've only technically been retired a couple of days, but I've worked so little since Christmas, and I feel like I'm going on like my 3rd month now. And that helped me tremendously. That helped me tremendously. Just to kind of get a feel for things. I go off a feel a lot about stuff, and sometimes it's to my detriment, especially financially, but mentally, it's what keeps me going, keeps me straight. It keeps me from getting too concerned over anything. And so, I was telling her I probably worked 2 weeks total since Christmas, a couple of days here and a couple of days there at a time, maybe. So. Isn't it always the next day when you don't go to work? That's odd. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so financially I'm straight. Actually, I checked it this morning. I got about, I think it's right at 75 grand more than September of 21. And I've never updated it in my program. So I was fine then. I'm gonna be, even better now. So that's surprising, especially after the year we had last year. But that's the way it works out. Yeah, Dave, I guess it does. It's just a little bit more freeing feeling. Like yesterday, I was busy all day and really didn't do a darn thing. This time of year is a dead time of year for me. It's too cold for me to spend too much time outside. But I do a lot of planning this time of year, like what I want to put in the garden. If I want to put flowers somewhere in the yard, or if we want to take a weekend down in North Carolina somewhere or something like that. I do a lot of thinking. No, we don't do 90% of it, but it gets us through the winter months. It's cold as snot here today. I think it might get above freezing, but it's cold. But by the end of the week, come Wednesday or Thursday, it's going to be like 65 or 67. It's going to be pushing 70 degrees 2 or 3 days there in the end. So Keller QX. Yes, I was born right across the river, next town over. Mom and Dad lived in the county on the other side, and they moved up here when I got school age. They had better schools, and it's a little closer to work for them. So we moved here, and I've been here. I lived in Columbus, Ohio for a couple of years. When I got out of school, I moved up yonder. So I've been here 54, 55 years, something like that, in the same little area too. So desires to relocate. Yeah, too many family members around here. I don't know, there's too many family members around here. It's just Dad and his brother live here. The rest of them lived up in West Virginia and Ohio. And then all Mom's people live South Carolina and South, except for I got one aunt that lives up in Pennsylvania. But immediate family, Mom, my son and daughter. I almost forgot them. And all the Weiss people live down in South Carolina. But it's a 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive. We can go down there over the weekend in a heartbeat. We used to do a lot of that when the kids were little. We don't do it so much anymore. But big honey-do list? No, not really. Pension inflation adjusted? No, it's not, and I'm not too concerned over it. It's so small to begin with. I mean, between the two of them, I think it's going to be like $1,500–1,600 a month. I plan to combat that with taking out of my money, whether it's 401, IRA, or whatever, and the cash I got in the bank. At the time I get to Social Security at 67, and the $1,500 a month I get for pension, that'll cover all our basic living needs. And I don't know, I might have some left over, might not, for enjoyment, but I'll have all that other money left over. So that's the plan anyways, subject to change. Yeah, it's a good idea, Dan. I think we'll go on whatever plan the wife's on now. They're on a plan with her and the daughter and son, and it's something I'll probably look into, but I don't plan on taking any calls on it because I don't talk on the phone anyways. Nobody calls but work or mama, so. Roy is extremely happy for his 5 months retirement. That's great. You know, I've only been retired 4 days, and I'm extremely happy too. Wait till the honeymoon gets over, and then I'll check back in. Regular exercise, yes. Have you traveled overseas? No. And honestly, I don't have no desire to. But if we was to go over there, it'd be over in the UK and the British Isles, Scotland, Ireland, over that area. I would like to go over to France, down to Normandy. Dad's got 2 uncles over yonder, and I'd like to go see that. I can pull it up online and see the gravestone and tablet of the missing, but I don't think nobody from our family has been over there to see it since 44. So I'd kind of like to do that. That's why June 6th of 21, that kind of propelled me to go ahead and call it quits. I was coming home from graveyard that morning, and I'm thinking, man, they didn't go over there for me to have to do something I didn't need to do. It sounds kind of stupid or corny or whatever, but that played a part in it. I can tell you that. Regular exercise, yes. It's just calisthenics. I'm not looking to be Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything, just to keep things limber, build up, keep from losing too much strength over time. So I can get up off the ground if I happen to fall or something like that, and to keep things limber. I was telling my little lady across town probably a couple of weeks ago. She said I looked like I was limping. I told her if I was a horse, she'd have to shoot me, because hips, knees, ankles, they're shot. They ain't bad enough for surgery, but they give me a lot of trouble. Thanks, Will. Have two on me, Will. Asset allocation. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not too sure. I mean, I run a 70-30 split. The next 10 years till I get to Social Security, it's going to start to even out 50-50 or something like that. Because what I take out that I'm not going to use until then, I just get put back in somewhere else. And it's pretty much just basic cash is bonds, total bond fund, stuff like that, are cash. And stocks is it's pretty much straightforward, the S&P. I got a little bit of BP. I got a little bit of company stock still. And that's pretty much it, really. Dennis, you're a little late, bud. That's all right. Southern California. My little lady across town is originally from San Diego. She lived the first, I guess, 30 years of her life out there, and then she got married to that fellow that lived over yonder, and they come back here to live. Yeah, that's kind of what I figure, Will. Maybe make it a twofer if we do. I don't foresee it happening, but if we was to ever go overseas, that's where we would head. And Australia. I had plans on going to Australia when I was a kid, probably 18, 19. Probably 20, maybe. I'd wanted to go down there, but I ended up going down to South Carolina and ran into the wife. So, Claude Legree. It would be, I guess it would be financially, but that's 3 more years. And if I waited, 3 years is no time in the time of somebody's life. But if I'd have waited 3 more years till I was 60, I'd have got a full retirement and not a reduced one. I probably would have hit my 7-digit goal easily by the end. So it just depends on how I feel. If I'm 65 and want to take it then, feel like I need to, or just to make me comfortable, I'm going to take it then. If I'm 62, I figured that out this morning too. At 62, we'll still be fine. So once I hit 62, it's year by year, depending on what we feel like, or if something comes up. It's pretty much emergency money, right? Once I hit 62, that's the way I'm going to look at it. So, 3 years can be a long time. It can be no time. It just depends on how I'm feeling. But it's something I do consider, just like I'm still considering a part-timer. I very well might get a part-time job. I got no desire to right now. Don't feel like I want one. But man, I'm only 57, and I'm not going to be busting my rump nowhere. So, to get out the house a little bit, because I found since I've been retired, since I've had this time off, that I need probably an hour or two to myself, alone, quiet, in the evenings. it's just enjoyable for me. I can think, or whatever. The wife just asked me yesterday, we were sitting in the living room there, want to know if something was wrong. I told her no. It's nothing for me to sit there for an hour or so in the same room and not say a word, because I'm thinking about stuff. 99% of the time, it ain't about anything either. Which do you use, Vanguard, Fidelity, or other? I use Fidelity because that's where my 401's at. And I've used all kinds of stuff over the years. Strong Fund. There was Franklin Templeton, I believe. But right now everything's over there. Well, not everything, but everything will be probably by the end of the year over at Fidelity. And I'm going to use my 401 is going to be, I'm pretty much going to empty that in the next 10 years. 10, 12 years or whatever. It's going to be shifted over to cash or, maybe an investment somewhere else. That's my plan. Use my 401 to get me through to Social Security. And then after that, it's just everything's just gold, supposedly. That's a good idea, Dan, but I never had to train nobody. They couldn't even put my job up on the board as open until I actually left. So they're just now, and it'd take them 3 or 4 months to get somebody over there. And then it'd take another 2 or 3 just to get the fellow trained. So I'm not looking at July or August before they even have somebody take my spot. It's just the way they have to do things over there. What will you live on to your 62? Charles White. Yeah, I'm late on the questions, Charles. Sorry, but I think I just answered that. I'm pull out my 401 and my pension. What was the best and easiest to understand site you went to for health insurance after your retirement? Biggest hurdle to take care of. Actually, I went down and talked to an insurance agent because I had 2 choices: Obamacare or take insurance from the plant. Insurance from the plant, it's a little under $700 a month, or $8,400 a year. That's the premiums. And Obamacare, I originally planned on going on just cash and my pension, so I wouldn't have to pay anything for the Obamacare. But since I had to pull out of my 401 in order to make it, it was going to be a couple $100, I believe. But the plan insurance is the best. I think it's about 11,000 is max out of pocket, I think. No, 3,000 is max out of pocket. That's what it is. You add the $8,000 for your premiums. It was at 11. It's $600 for deductible. So, I mean, you're talking 12 grand. That's the most I'd have to pay out of pocket. I mean, and most out of pocket for Obamacare is like 17 grand or something like that. But then you get your premiums and your deductible, which was high too. And it doesn't pay for a lot of stuff that mine covers. Mine even covers eye care. So I prefer to go with the best I can afford right now. Yeah, I mean, but it's an option later. So if I need to, I can always cut back. David Foltz, yes, I just went over there this morning, David. Or nothing to do. She didn't want to get out in the cold, and she didn't really have anything outside for me to do or inside. So, but she talked about a lot of plans she had for us. And I got what, two of her buddies. Then I got Mama, and then I got the wife here. So I got somebody scheduled for every day. But listen, I don't want nobody to get the wrong idea. I'm not busting the rump over yonder. It's just stuff that people, once they hit around 80 years old, have a hard time to do that they've done all their life. And it's stuff I would rather for them ladies not to do, like get up on a ladder and change a light bulb. If it's anything major that takes actual skill, I recommend somebody for them to call. But I mean, you change out a faucet. I mean, it's not that difficult. Or change a light switch, or put in a daggone rose bush or something. It's not that big a deal. And just 3 out of 5 are widows. So it gives them somebody to expect to see on a Saturday or Tuesday and to talk to. And it's more just being a neighbor than anything. And actually, I get more out of it than they do. I mean, once a person reaches around 80 years old, they've got a lot of living, a lot of experience, and it's interesting to hear. And it gives me something to think about. I get a lot more out of it than they do. So, no, Dennis, it doesn't. But I still say I quit. Because, I mean, technically I did. I mean, I could still be in there working. But the only way I could get my retirement was to retire. So, I mean, I could draw it later, but I mean, to get it now when I need it was to retire. So yeah, I mean, I actually quit. I didn't retire. Let me see. What type of part-time jobs would you consider? Probably working outside, cutting grass. I would have done that for a living if it paid well, but I couldn't raise a family on it. I tried starting my own business at it, but I'm either going to go 100% on something like that, or I'm going to cut back to 1 day a week and go down to the river to rest. So I'd have either been broke and the wife and kids would have left me, or I'd have been rich and they'd have left me because I wasn't ever around. So I'm not made to be an entrepreneur exactly, because I'd go one way or the other, just the way I am, all out or nothing. Thanks for your time. Have a great retirement. You're welcome, Dan. You enjoy yourself. Y'all enjoy your day today. It's going to be a good weekend. If I were in Canada, where would I choose to spend my winters in the South? In the South, I'd go to Charleston. It gets a little cool there, but it's not. Charleston, Savannah area, we enjoy there. We go there quite a bit. Well, I don't know about quite a bit, but we've been there 6, 7, 8, 10 times, something like that. It's a nice area. And usually I take a vacation in last week of January, first week of February, in case it gets bitter here. And that's the direction we head, just for a couple of weeks to get a break. And we really enjoy that area. Of course, the wife's from right there at the top of South Carolina, right there where Dillon, south of the border is. That's the town Mom's from, but my wife's from the next county over. So we go by and see family and stuff when we go down. So, but that's where I would head. I would go from there down for the weather. I've never been west. I've been over to Georgia and Florida, but I've never been past that to the west. We've been up to Tennessee, Kentucky, but southwise, we've never been to the western part. Nice of you to help, Steve. Oh, that's cool, Angie. Yeah, Tina, I enjoy it. It doesn't take much to bring me enjoyment or for to inspire me or whatever. It doesn't. Yeah, I'm not much on the furniture stuff myself. Angie, the wife, does that, but I'm not much on it. Too tedious. I'd rather be outside digging a hole or something because I mean, worst I can do is make it too big or too deep. So, but the garden department wouldn't be bad. Um, maybe walking dogs or something. I wouldn't mind doing something like that too. I really haven't given it a lot of thought, but I'll worry when I cross that bridge. How's that? It's the same for getting older. You know, I'm not going to sit here today at 57 and worry about what might happen at 80. I might not even get to 80. And when I do, then by then I'll have some idea of what I want to do. I don't know. It's just the way I think. Oh yeah, we've never had a pet. This is Keller QX. We've never had a pet. Well, my daughter had a couple of pet rabbits out there one time when she's little. Something got in a cage and killed them. But other than that, we've never had a pet. Yeah, I mean they can be an anchor on you, but they're a lot of fun. My daughter's got a little puppy now, and when he comes over, I mean it's a lot of fun. But it's like grandkids, at a certain point, it's time for you to carry them all away. I don't think so, David. She's camera shy. I tried to get her to ring the bell for me this coming Tuesday, but she don't want no parts of it. So she don't like being on camera, I guess. I don't know. Claude, I think for me personally, I would go to treadmill. An elliptical machine for me would be probably be a little dangerous. I've never used one, so I couldn't tell you. I've run on a treadmill once or twice, so I know how that works. I think the elliptical would probably work you better, but depends on how hard you want to sweat, I guess. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever's cheaper is the way I would do it. Hey, I don't know if it's Lucy Lou's what I say. It's loosely, I guess. I'm glad to see you showed up. I got you down for Tuesday. You show up. I got a little special, a little surprise that tickled me for my Tuesdays now. Brent Allen, my extended family. The wife and kids think I'm nuts. They can't believe it. And other than that, I don't think anybody knows. I'd make a terrible politician because I don't sell any. I can't sell anything. I couldn't ask for $1, so I don't even ask for subscriptions. It's just not me. I do it for a hobby. It's not for anything big. So yeah, I don't think I did have a cousin down in Florida. He was talking to his mama down there that he thought he saw me on the computer. And mom's got a sister in Florida, one in Pennsylvania, and mama, she's in the middle in Virginia. So they have a call chain where one calls one, and then she calls the other one, and then they reverse it. And she was talking to mama and telling her about it. And I was surprised. So, yeah, I don't think anybody knows, to be honest with you. Yeah, you can walk outside for free. Oh, and that gets me I take my walks down at the county park down here. And what was it, Wednesday? Wednesday it was snowing here. No, Wednesday it was raining. Thursday it snowed. Right. Because I was over Mama's last night. So We didn't get nothing. We got a daggone flurry, enough to cover the ground. And by noon, it was gone. So I waited after then to take my walk. And I went down to the park. It was about 3 o'clock. And I finished up about 4. It's just about 4 o'clock. And the road in front of it was kind of a main drive-through between two big roads. And I seen all the cars coming down there. What the heck's all them cars doing down there? And then I realized what time it was, and I should have started 4 to 12s on Thursday. I just got to laughing. It tickled me. But it was, I guess the first time I realized I was actually retired, I reckon. But I got a big kick out of that. Upstate South Carolina, Mike Madden. I think the wife's from what they call the PD region, boss. Yeah, down there in Dillon, right off 95. Any kind of groups, Angie? No. I don't think so. Never even give it a thought, to be honest with you. But right off the top of my head, no. I'm pretty much a loner. If I get a buddy of mine goes hunting with me or goes fishing, or maybe we go to a drag race or something, but I mean, I'm not big much for joining a group. And to me, that's, say you got a book club, meets every week at Tuesday at 8 o'clock or whatever. I mean, it's kind of putting undue pressure on me that I don't want, because I had to be somewhere every day for the past 4 years or so. Maybe later on. It's very interesting thought for later on. But right now, nah. Yeah. The heat doesn't bother me any, Claude. I could spend all day out there. The cold doesn't bother me once I get that first month out the way. Now, I'd rather not be out there. But then I don't get better cold here. I mean, we get to zero rarely. Wind chill, a lot of times wind chill be down around zero or in the teens or single digits. But I mean, as far as the actual temperature, it doesn't, we have a couple spells during the winter that might be in the 20s, or teens. But most time here, it's not too bad. Somewhere between 30 and 40, 45, something like that is about average. So I don't mind being out in it. Plus, if I'm working, I get hot. So, yeah, Dennis, I figured I earned the opportunity today. Topics that you plan to discuss future YouTube videos. How do you plan on what you want to discuss? Normally, David, it comes to me. Something I've been thinking about, or have a question about, or I realize. And as far as topics I plan to discuss in the future, I think this year is probably going to change from what I was doing to what screwed up or what was right or what I've experienced. Like when I was taking my walk and I kind of realized I was actually retired because everybody was either going to work or coming home and I was taking a walk. So, but hey, man, I'm open to topics. And it's just going to be my idea. I can't tell anybody a darn thing about you because I barely know myself, and definitely ain't no expert on anything except for maybe iced tea and relaxing. So yeah, I mean, you guys are watching. You guys get to decide if you want me to a topic you want me to talk about. Don't ask if you don't want to know, because I sure as heck tell you. Thanks for answering the questions. You're welcome, Claude. Good stuff, Steve. Had to get back to work. Oh, dadgummit, Maynard in Texas. I'm sorry. Well, enjoy yourself, bud, best you can. Work's a 4-letter word, don't you? I enjoy adding to my life in retirement. It's pretty much what I grew up around. So to me, it doesn't seem no different. I didn't think anything was different about it. I got on here and started seeing how other people kind of look at things. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, I even actually looked at getting a place down there one time. It's been 20 years ago. I recommend that. It's a nice area. It really is. Well, you got two of them down there, Longs and Chapers. There's two little towns right there next to each other. I can't think of the other name of that town, but it's nice, and that's about half. It's closer to Myrtle Beach than it is to where the wife's from, but it's about halfway or so. It's a nice area. I see where they was trying to shoot down that what do you call that? That China balloon just off of South Beach and not Seaside Beach, I think it's named down in Stockton, just south of Myrtle Beach. I don't know if they've done it yet, but I was watching that before I got on here. John Bracken, you don't use down yonder. No, no, they don't. I got cousins live up there in near Beaver Falls. What the heck is the name of that town she lives in? I can't think of the name of it. But no, they don't. But they use Ewans too. I used to get tickled. My cousin used to ask my dad when Ewan's leaving. And they use pop for everything. Well, I use Coke for everything, but I don't. I drink mostly tea and water, sometimes coffee. But so yeah, it's a difference. That's why I don't hear too many accents or notice the big difference between the way people speak, because I've heard it all my life from Pennsylvania, Ohio, and all the way down to Florida, the different accents, and I don't have too much trouble understanding most people. Moving to Staunton, Virginia for cooler weather. Have you ever been there? Yeah, I had an uncle that lived there when he worked in D.C. Worked at the Pentagon one time. Oh, I can remember when I was just a little kid. It was a big snowstorm. We was up there one time. They built a snowman, looked like Mickey Mouse. He got on the front, would he go on the front page of the paper, I think, up there. And it's a nice area. It's a nice area. It tends to be a little bit more expensive. Down here in Central Virginia is pretty middle of the road. You get closer to North Carolina line, it's a little cheaper to live there. And once you get above Richmond, it starts getting a little expensive. Now, towards the mountains, it's not too bad either, especially the southwestern part. It's a poor area of the state. But no, hey man, what James Madison, what Harrisonburg, I love Harrisonburg, Charlottesville area. It's a nice area. I think you got a good choice there, Angie. Either one of them places is great. I've never been to Chattanooga, to be honest with you. We just been across the state line. I don't even remember the name of the towns we went to. But Georgia's nice. Negative feedback from people retiring early. Sometimes I get people acting like I'm going for retire. No, Iron. Hey man, I seem like a big ass. I don't really pay too much attention to most people, to be honest with you. So yeah, I probably have never noticed it. The way I look at it is, hey, it's my life, and I'm gonna do what I want to with it. I mean, you can think what you want. Sounds terrible, but I ain't that bad, but it's just the way I am. Little Klondike outdoors. How many gallons of coffee you have to drink to watch all them videos, bud? When I first started, in the first couple of months, I I was having trouble with my camera and my mic syncing up. So a lot of times it looks like one of them old Oriental films. And I had COVID. Well, how you say, I always say Fauci fever. And it took me a couple of months to get over the cough. So it was, yeah, they're they're a lot of fun to watch. Sometimes it takes a little bit of coffee to get you through them, though. But you got 3 to 5 years away, man. You in a perfect spot, Doc. I mean, I say that, but I don't know. But yeah, 3 to 5 years is a good range to really start bearing down, thinking about it, and working hard towards the goal, in my opinion. And you got time. That's big, man. That's huge. A lot of people don't realize how huge time is. That's what saved my butt, actually. I mean, I never saved a lot at one time, but I've been doing it for so long that over time, $1 adds up to $2, and two goes to $4. I never planned on leaving this early, but the fact that I always tried to save $1 allowed me to leave with a pretty good sum. It made it possible I could leave when I was ready. So yeah, man, you're in great shape, buddy. Keep at it. Christiansburg, Tina. I've been over that way. I can't place where it's at yet, but I've been by it. We've traveled all over Virginia. Virginia's got a lot of history in it. I mean, we've been to George Washington's house, Thomas Jefferson's. Been over to they got D-Day Memorial up in the mountains there. Been of course we've been down to Virginia Beach and up to DC. DC's like an hour and a half from here or something. Been over to Yorktown, down to Appomattox Courthouse. And Petersburg's just down the road. They had the Battle of the Crater there, where they blew up an animal dump under the soldiers in the Civil War. Left a big old hole in the ground. It's huge. And so I mean that's interesting. So and then we got Fort Lays across the river. They got a quartermaster museum over there. They actually used to when I was a kid. They had General Patton's Jeep there. So I always thought that was cool. But South Louisiana. How many employees at your former job and how do they follow your channel? I don't know. Speaking of which, I don't know how well y'all going to see this, but if you work with a crew like this, you'd retire early too. I told them I was going to do this. This little lady right here was the boss lady. So she's from North Carolina originally. So yeah, they did that for me when I left because I told them I didn't want no party or nothing. It's just not me. And but I got all them T-shirts to give to the guys, and they felt bad, so they all got together and made a picture and give it to me. I thought it was pretty nice. They signed the back of the card, the picture and everything. So, so I guess I don't know. What there's 2 on a shift. That's 8. Get 5, 6 on daylight. 13, 14 employees. Plus, got 2 secretaries. 4 bosses. So, but actual employees are 14. That's just my department. In the whole plant, there's 200 maybe. Actual employees and not actual Indians and not chiefs. I'm not sure. Probably there's probably 20 people on a shift. So you double that, it's 80 people. The rest of them are engineers and junk like that. That's it, Angie. They don't pay my bills. That's why I don't care what they got to retire either. They don't. It's not like a dollar of what they got's coming my way. So, I think you're good on the economy, Angie. I tend to have a positive outlook anyway, so I don't. Don't go by me. But I checked it this morning because I knew I was coming on here. And I mean, the market just doesn't drop that big 2 years in a row. I got the wrong book here, but I mean, it's happened twice, I think, where it dropped 20% or more than 16%, and then the next year it dropped more than that. You know, one time was every year during the Depression. Was it Macro Trends? They have a thing on there where you can see the 100-year history of the macrotrends.net of the market. And I think one of them was like the 70s, something like that. I think it was 73 and 74. I'm not positive. I got it wrote down, but I brought the wrong book in here. So it might not have went into positive territory after a big drop, but it, instead of being down 20%, it might have been down, 12 or something like that. And it very rarely dropped 2 years in a row. Not saying it can't. I mean, it could bottom out and Uncle Joe could cause World War III, but I tend not to worry about something I got no control over that might not ever happen. I'm pretty confident that this year is going to be better than last year. I don't know. Near Virginia Tech and Blacksburg. Yeah, okay, because we went down to Blacksburg a couple of years ago for something. We spent the weekend there one time. 3-4 years ago, I reckon. That's right. Not you said that. Moseley, Virginia, south of Richmond. Yes, I do. I am familiar with it. I think it's to the west of here. It's between me and Richmond. I think it's in the same county. I'm in Chesterfield County. I think I know the name. I know the school. So I'm not exactly sure where it's located in relation to where I'm at. But I get on 95, I could get there. I might have to get off 95, but it'd take me up north. So, yeah, Michelle, I thought it was. I was surprised, and it tickled me. It did. But like I said, I wake up in the morning, I get tickled. So it doesn't take a whole lot. But it was kind of touching. It really was. I told him that. Yeah, Claude, that's what I thought about. I plan on leaving at 60, 62. But things went so south at work the past year. I said, forget it. If I don't have to, I'm not going to. So I checked into it, and thankfully I was able to go. I mean, otherwise I'd still, I'd be getting ready to go to work here in just a few minutes. I'm glad I don't have to do that no more. Yes, Chesterfield. I know I was close. Thanks, Julianne. It's just my thoughts now. Don't take anything I say, to heart, because it works for me. It's what makes me feel good. It might not be, it's definitely not the best thing financially to do. But, you got to do what makes you sleep at night. And that's what I plan on working on the month of February. I thought I'd fall right into a regular sleep routine. So I never even planned on it. I might go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. I might go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. I just haven't regulated my sleep yet. I worked swing shift for so long, I figured it would just come natural to me, but it didn't. So I'm going to plan on getting on a regular schedule as far as going to bed. That's what I'm going to work on. I'm not in no rush to feel retired or to realize that I'm retired. I just want to get to a state where I'm comfortable with living life, pretty much. That's pretty much all I do. Whatever you do on a regular day is pretty much what I do. And I got a few things I do, but I don't consider any of them hobbies. I'm not really passionate about them. but I can do them all day or all week and never bother me, you know. I don't know. Plan in retirement, minimize your maximal regret. David, what if I think about that and get back to you, boss? I don't have too many regrets, to be honest with you. So I don't think I'm gonna have too much trouble with that. I very well might, but I don't know. Yeah, iron. I ran into that a couple of buddies at work too. Sure did, and they were a little older than me. They were, well, shoot, I think he was at least 62. One of them was. I can understand that. Last year when that money dropped like it did, and I wasn't retired, I could have pulled my name back at any time. I mean, don't think it didn't cross my mind. But when you look at the overall picture, I mean, it's going to drop whether I'm working or not. Yeah. It's not like I can't cut back. It's not like I can't get a part-time job if I need to, or a full-time job. There's ways to work around that if you have the desire to leave. It's what I think, but I don't know. That's a good plan, Brent. I can't do that because I need money to live on now. So I got to draw from my 401. I don't have 5 years cash in the bank. I got about 2.5. I mean, that would get me to 59.5. What? Yeah. So I had thought about that, but I don't want to burn through all my cash where I can go to the bank and pull it out if I need to. So if you can hang on that long, boss, knock yourself out. That makes perfect financial sense. But for me, it didn't work. You just twist your ankle there, Angie? Oh, I know you tore it and sprained it and everything, but I mean, that just happened? That's terrible. I injured both of my Achilles at the same time here a few years back. That was painful as heck. Didn't tear anything, but it stretched them and it hurt. That's all I know. That's miserable. Yeah, if you got a good little side hustle, Benji, just hang out, man. I wouldn't go back. Well, if you can hang with it and it's fine, knock yourself out. That's what I recommend. I would rather had went part-time at the plant than go ahead and quit. But you have to put in 8 hours of nothing and a full 40-hour week or nothing. We don't have any way to cut back to 2 or 3 days a week or 4 hours a day. I think that would be a great way to transition. I just wasn't privy to that ability. Happened in July. Hasn't been the same since. Yeah, well, that's part of the problem on my ankle. Acts up all the time. I busted that playing basketball one year, and then I hurt both of them Achilles that time. And my joints don't work together to make me walk straight. How's that? 54 and took a bit of penalty too. No regrets. All 2 years. I've had all my time to myself. That's where I'm looking at, Michelle. So I don't know. Well, listen, I've had y'all on here for an hour. I didn't have much to say. I appreciate everybody showing up. I appreciate any new subscribers. And that's pretty much it. I appreciate that, David. I think you know me a lot more than I know myself, boss. Y'all have a good rest of your weekend. I appreciate you showing up. It really meant a lot to me. At least I didn't have to stand here and look at this camera and talk by myself. Y'all take care. We'll talk with y'all later. Stop immediately once you're no longer live. Okay.